Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Lordy, Lordy, you're listening to episode number 40 of DeathPiles and Taxes.
Isn't that how old you are?
That's how old Adam is, 40 years young.
Whoa, not quite there yet, my friend. Just had my 38th birthday.
2 years to 40. Happy birthday week, by the way.
Hey, thank you much. Appreciate that.
This is your podcast, I guess is what we are.
Yeah.
And we're talking about selling things online and taxes, right?
That's right.
And everything in between, because let's be honest, we cross the road multiple times, but eventually we get to our point.
Like a grasshopper.
So,
Good on takeoff, and you'll never know where it's going to land.
how's your week been, Adam?
You know, I'll tell you what's going to be a lot better this week. This show, because I am not going to get scared to listen to it.
Well, here's the feedback I'm getting.
Oh,
Some people were calling us weak.
weak.
Apparently, they weren't so scared by some of our scary stories. So I said, you know what we're going to do?
Load up the bus. We're going to Ephraim.
We're, I'm reaching out, can't promise everything, but next week I'm trying to bring in a guest and we're going to talk a little more scary.
See, here's the problem. Whoever said that this was weak,
Well, more importantly, they said Adam's kind of weak when you're talking Never-Ending Story
Wow.
and Willow and some of these things that you can't handle.
did any of these people live in a morgue?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Yeah, ask that next time, and we'll see who's weak.
I will ask. Follow up. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I'm not the one saying it.
What are they-
I was scared to death. I called you up when I was editing the episode and said, I don't know what we've got ourselves into here.
It happened twice. There was two opportunities that the powers that be said don't do it, and we kept doing it anyways.
So let me cue a few of you in. Last week's episode, if you didn't hear it, was our most anticipated, Adam's cracking up with a Diet-Dooski, episode of the Halloween episode that we've been talking about building up for a little bit, no doubt about it, and I thought it was a good episode. So if you haven't listened to that episode, pause this one now and go and listen to it, because what I'm going to talk about now will not make any sense to you unless you've heard it. So at the end of this episode, I threw in a creepy little Russian lullaby. Did you actually listen to the episode, Adam?
I did listen to it.
You made it all the way through it?
And that creepy lullaby, like, it was... I can't even...
So,
No.
Going back to referring to when I go up the canyon as the hitchhiker, me and my roommate at the time, who we talked about ad nauseum last week, and tried calling me today. I don't know if it's about that or not. I'll reach back out to him. But we were always talking about what can we do to make this just a little scarier? What can we do to tweak a little thing? And so we had this idea that if we could get recording of children's voices, but in a different language, out in the woods, and just have it randomly talking, so you hear these kids talking in random languages, that's spooky, that's scary, because one, it's kids. Kids shouldn't be by themselves out in the woods, and then when they're trying to talk to you, it's in a language that you don't understand, but you understand that's a language, so that's scary, right? So I remembered this last week, because I thought, we need a good closing episode. I thought I had a good opening little thing there with the thriller thing. I thought going into the break and stuff, I had some good mix. We had friends of the program saying that the Rob Zombie, they really liked all that mix and stuff. And so I thought, we need something to close this good. And so I remembered that. So I typed in Russian lullaby in the old YouTube machine. And up came this song, right? I'd never heard it before, but I thought it would just be like a little Mary Had a Little Lamb, but in Russian. So I play it, I'm like, this is creepy.
I don't even want to talk about this. I'm ready to move on and talk about eBay.
We'll get to it. This is creepy, right? And so then I saw what the lyrics were. And what it translated into is like, this guy's going to come and basically kidnap you in the night and take you away.
Lovely.
And it's a legit lullaby. It wasn't supposed to be, this is just a Russian lullaby, apparently. So I'm like, this is creepy. So I download it, just how I had every other thing, including our podcast, all the other music that we've ever played on the podcast, which if you listened for a while, you can see there's quite a bit. And so I go to put it on the old podcast on my editing software. Just peeling back the curtain, I am the intern and engineering crew. DRoy Everett at Twitter. So I'm doing this, and the files just corrupt and disappear. So I'm like, that is weird. So then I try it again, and I try a different file. I can't get this thing to save or to copy over. So it's really strange, and I'm like, okay, at this point, I need to get this on here somehow, though, because I've already creeped myself out, and now this file won't work with what I'm trying to do.
The powers that be saying you don't do that.
And I've never had another problem taking something from YouTube and editing it and putting it into our stuff in 40 episodes. Well, at this point, it was 39. So I was up till after midnight on a random, was it Thursday or Friday? I don't remember. I had to work the next day, probably Thursday. Way too late, trying to make this creepy song work. And then I just had to keep playing it over and over. So I pretty much got it memorized.
Let's not talk about
and
it.
Lo and behold, I got to work.
You're the man.
I had to go find a third copy of it, and it worked that time. So that was. I asked everyone that said
great.
weak or we expect more out of the stories or whatever. I said, did you listen to the Russian song? And they said, oh, that was creepy.
Well,
so
they're probably like they're the children of the corn. Like they probably sleep with the Chucky doll. That's probably their thing. They have a Jason mask. Their parents probably let them stay up and watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Probably what they do.
That's probably what they do.
So anyway, just throwing it out there. Next week, I'm going to try to have. You might have to leave the room, but we're going to try to tell a few other Halloweenish stories for everyone.
Well, I will throw in two little caveats to that because one of the worst experiences that I've ever had, because I just block them out. That's the thing. Like I just literally block them out. I know you're here in the valley. This is here in the Utah Valley area. Do you remember in your Wayback Machine, late 90s, early aughts, when they used to have the scary mental hospital institution that you could go to?
It was the real mental institution.
Exactly.
And they had the people inside put on like this scary. For some reason, I know it's everywhere, but somewhere in Utah, we love our haunted house type attractions.
Tell me about it.
And yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Do you ever go to said place?
I'm not going to go inside a mental institution where they let the mental institution heirs, the people that are in there because they're not mentally able to be in the rest of society, be free to spook me. That is scary.
So apparently I got some inside scoop on that because I had forgotten about it. Got some insider information, friend of the program, Brian, basically that was like good behavior for them if they did well throughout the year.
That was the encouragement. Hey,
that was the encouragement.
It works, most of them. So I went to a few of them, and usually I'm not scared. They're like $30 or $40. I remember we had a guy that was I won't get into the whole details, but he was a teacher of us when we were in our youth. We were young youths. Took us up to the one in Park City. It was the Haunted Mine.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I just know that, like, there's legalities that they can't touch and do certain things, so, it doesn't scare me.
Like take a chainsaw?
Yeah, they can come up in your face, but I'm like, this kid's just somebody like me that's making, $5 an hour. However, when you get into some of that where it's like, oh, this person's in here because they're, state wardens or they've been committed here, that's scary. I'm not going to do that. No way.
So let's move past that.
Okay, so that was a little bit of the Halloween episode. Well, like I say, we got some more stuff coming. Hopefully next week.
I know why they're saying it's weak, and I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna put it on Facebook tonight.
Oh yeah, you've been promising pictures too.
I remembered it because I forgot. I blocked out the episode. I listened to the whole thing. I'm like, I got to get those pictures because then they're like, that does look a little freaky. You know what I mean?
So how was the birthday?
It's a good birthday.
I have to apologize. I called you to tell you all about how this freaky thing was corrupted and not listed and going right, and it was on your birthday. And then I thought, right after I hung up with him, basically, oh, it was Adam's birthday. I probably should have said something to him. So
hey, that's okay.
He only turned 40 once.
But apparently my time, I will several times because I'm not yet 40.
So this week, you getting ready to go on your big trip? We talking about that?
We are going to talk about that.
You want to save that for a little later, or you want to hit it now?
No, let's get into a couple things. We'll hit that because I think you're going to have some good advice for me on this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Last night we had our eBay sellers meetup.
Oh, how was our buddy $100 bill?
Well, so here's the thing. I get there, right? And I had to go solo.
I had to change my plans because I was on my way to Iowa.
Somebody talked my wife into going back to school, so she's not going with me because she's at school.
Hey, you know what?
Somebody that said he was going to go with me can't make it, so I go
That
by
guy's
myself.
a jerk.
I go by myself, which is fine. It's a great group. They're good people there. So on my way up, though, I'm always looking. I'm always sourcing. I'm always looking for things. So before I take off, I look on the old Facebook Marketplace.
Oh boy.
And it kind of has it, like, if you search certain things, it kind of has an algorithm where it shows you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks as a seller because I want to see all sorts of things. I don't want to be pigeonholed into anything. I just want to see what's for sale so I can look at values of things, right?
You got lots of wrestling memorabilia that comes up on yours.
But as a seller, it's great because I know people looking for my item are going to see my item.
Yeah.
So I have this thing pop up, and it's from like back in the 90s, and they were these, it was this wrestling organization that doesn't exist anymore, and they're foam bricks. And there's like probably, probably like 8 or 10 of them. And they're probably like 12 by 4, and they're just a chunk of foam made it to look like a brick, and then they have the organization name on it. And I thought, well, that's something. She wanted $5 for them. So before I even look them up, I know I've sold things from this place.
Weird stuff.
I've sold things from this place for hundreds of dollars. So I know the merchandise wasn't exactly great, and it didn't exactly spend a long time before it would deteriorate. And so there's not a lot of it around, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I did well, first off, I just contacted her and I said, hey, is this still available? I'm interested. Just to send out the general
just find
general
out.
thing.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, oh, yeah, it's still available. Where are you located? So I said, hey, this is where I'm located. I'm on my way up to Salt Lake. She was midway in between, basically. So I said, I can swing by and get it in, about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm doing a little search on my phone, and I see that these things, the last ones that were around were about 2016.
Okay.
And it was one that sold for, I believe it was $89.
Holy Hannah.
And she's got 10 of them.
Okay.
And so she says, yeah, I'll meet you at this Walmart parking lot, right? Because she doesn't want me coming to her house because I'm a weirdo.
Please be there. Please be there. Please be there.
So I said, by the way, do you have any other old wrestling stuff? I know it's weird, but I have to ask you. And she's like, no, I don't. So I said, okay. Told her what my car was going to be like. Said I'll be there in about 40 minutes. So when I get to the parking lot, here's where I'm at, basically. This is what I'm in. And I'm waiting to hear back from her. I'm like, the crappy part is I need to be up to Salt Lake at a certain time, too.
You've got things to do.
And so she rolls up, and she has a husband with her, which is fine, but it's this not quite older, but probably in her 50s lady.
Okay.
And she just looks baffled. She just looks baffled at me. And she shows me what they are. She's got them in this nice box, and she says, is this really what you like? She's like, you really want these? I said, yeah. And she's like, okay, just making sure, like, you understood what these were. Like, they're not real bricks. Like, because maybe I'm a mason, or I don't know. I said, no, I understand what they are. I collect weird things. Like, it's fine. And I said, so you just want $5 for all of them? And she goes, yep. I said, here you go. And I loaded them up. So, I mean, I'm going to ask about $100 a piece. So I'm hoping I turn $5 into about, it'll be a little under $800 is kind of what I'm hoping I just did. And, got in the car, went on my merry way, get up to our seller group. And so I go in there and get my drink, get all situated. And Bill's talking to somebody, and he says, how you doing? And so we're kind of shooting the breeze a little bit. And he says, I need to tell you something.
Uh-oh. Is this $100 bill?
Yeah, this is a big bill. And so I said, whatever we're talking. And he says, I'm on a ban. I said, all right, what?
What?
His wife's banned him from buying anything else because he's got too much stuff in the house.
Oh, no.
And he's like, I'm not joking around. This isn't being funny. Like, I am on a ban. So Bill, we feel for you. We understand that you've got too big of a death pile and you need to start converting it. And then he says, well, where's Adam at? And I said, that guy just gets busy. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses for him.
That will be brought up later in the program today.
And so, anyway, Bill wondered where you were. They were asking about you. And then this guy sits next to me, and we're kind of talking, and Bill's like, well, Derek over here has a friend that does taxes. Give him Adam's information. Hey, Derek, this guy's looking for a tax man. And so the guy sitting next to me goes, oh, you know a good tax guy for e-commerce? I said, I sure do. And so then I gave out your personal cellular phone number to a couple people.
There you go.
And I said, just tell him that you're part of this group and that, this is where you got it from, and he'll hook you up.
There you go.
So I still took care of you.
You're the man. You'll understand my feeling here in just a little bit and get a little more details.
And so we have our presentation. I'll get into that a little later.
Okay.
I won in the raffle. I won some eBay coasters.
Shocking.
Last guy called.
Shocking.
And it was a great time. I do want to talk about our topic, but we'll get into it a little bit because it's a little in-depth too. I came home. Great time. Great time.
You're always rolling the dice.
I'll tell people again, if you sell online, I think it would behoove you to go find you a seller meetup group. Because you meet people, but then when you're talking to people, the first question they ask is, what do you sell? You ask, what do they sell? And I've learned ideas. You get ideas. You learn different things that you can do, different techniques. They had us all talk about listing. That was our big topic. Everybody lists differently. Everybody lists differently. Yeah. Adam's got a little paper there.
I still got to think of a Bigasigchita. I don't know. I'm not good with acronyms.
But, so, I mean, it's just kind of good to hear everyone's different process, and it's amazing how some people, just sell a few things a year. Some people sell full time. But just how they go about doing it, and it doesn't matter because it's your own business. You can do it however you want, right?
You can do it exactly the way you want it to.
So it was a great time. We missed you. One of these next couple weeks. Oh, also, I'll just throw it out here too. I kind of committed you. But Bill was asking, the first of the year, they want you to be the big tax guy presentationer.
Hey, we can throw down any tax information.
So next month they're going to do a little Sub for Santa toy drive. The month after that we're going to do a little Christmas party.
Okay.
And then they said they want Adam to be the man that does it because you're a member of the group.
Well, we'd love to help out with the tax information. Now that it's starting to be thinking about it. Well, the reality is, if you're doing what you're supposed to, you're thinking about it. The sad reality is nobody will be thinking about it until March.
Probably
April.
First of the year. So
Yeah,
just a little
exactly.
heads up.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Two things I want to get into.
Are they death piles and taxes?
Absolutely, they're death, violence, and taxes. That's what this whole program is about. So, had a little snippety guy on our eBay store. Little persnipperter.
Yeah.
Little, you know what? You can only do so many things to keep everybody happy. That's the problem. We've got a negative review.
Okay.
Okay?
That happens.
It does, and here's the thing. It isn't really, it's nothing that we could have done. And here's, you always know when there's something, I'll just let you look at it and you can tell me. So we found a vintage pair of Reebok shoes, okay? Very old, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like extremely old. The pictures obviously show that. I mean, everything that's on there gives you that information that
These are old shoes.
These are not brand new. Okay? And I think we sold them for like $20, $23 or something. Nothing, nothing crazy, just a pair of shoes. This is the guy's feedback. Insoles were dried out and crumbling. Seller won't respond. Don't expect much.
Ooh. Ooh. So the seller won't respond. Did you receive any?
Yeah, so we're the seller, and we responded and said, dude, here's what you've got. Like, look at the pairs of the shoes, man. Like, did you expect brand new insoles? And he's like, well, these aren't in the kind of condition that I thought they were going to be in. I want to ship them back to you.
Okay.
I said, well, we're like, great, go ahead, ship them back, and we'll give you a refund. Well, I want you to pay for the shipping back. And if you don't do that, then I'll just take a discount off of, what we paid you.
Cool.
So I'm like, hold on a second. Sure, fine, we'll give you a refund, just ship them back. That's fine. But he didn't want to ship them back. He wanted us to pay for his shipping to ship them back.
What did your original listing say? Did it say who pays for shipping?
Yeah, that's what he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I'd at least contact eBay and say, you're not going to see eye to eye with everyone. You don't need to get into the details. But I'd say, we reached out, we talked to him. if he wants to send them back, we'll give him a refund.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to send them back. And then in the negative, he said that, you won't respond, which you obviously did.
Yeah.
So I work that way to try to get removed. But some people collect old shoes, like old Nikes worth thousands.
Well, that's what this guy does.
Yeah.
This guy resells shoes on the internet.
Yeah, so he knows he's just playing the game a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's all he's doing. It's like, obviously we sold them lower than what they're worth, which is fine. Like, that's not our thing. But I'm like, really, man? Like,
Yeah.
like really?
Yeah, that's where you can't take it personal, right?
And-
Like, you
and
just know that some people are that way.
And I don't. It's just like, really? Like, really? Pre-owned. Let's see. All items have been used and worn previously. It says it right on there, dude. You can clearly see into the insoles of the
Now, you
shoes.
took actually a really good picture of the insoles.
Like,
So
that's, I mean, you can't get much more detail than that, boss.
I wouldn't deal with him anymore.
And
He tried
we
to
have.
resolve it with
Yeah.
him. It
Yeah.
didn't work. I'd go to eBay and say, hey, we offered him a return.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to return. He just wants a discount.
So that, I don't know.
It's just what it is at that point.
It's fine. I mean, that's what you deal with. But this is I'm getting to the point now where you can't get frustrated by. Obviously, you never want to have like eat the sour apple and never want to have apples again.
That's what some people do. Yeah.
And that's so. Breaking story. I'm not going to Iowa tomorrow.
This just in. I thought up until this moment you were.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to go on a little mini rant here.
It's about time. It's going to be derailed with Parumpy now.
It's not. I'm not sure. So we've become such an awful society as human beings that we can't help one another without trying to sue the pants off of somebody else for trying to help you out.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing. You'll probably sue me.
What I mean by this is we saw this opportunity, okay? There was a young man that was on college game day that held up a sign, being funny, being smart, and says, Venmo me money for beer. Great, big freaking whoop-de-doo, okay? Hey, it took off. This guy got a lot of money, and he realized right at the moment, hey, I can't take all this money. Like, I'm going to do something with it. So he decides, I'm going to donate this money to a children's hospital.
Great, wonderful thing to do.
Child Cancer Hospital. So this continues to roll on. Venmo, Anheuser-Busch, all of these different companies become involved. Somebody thought it was a great idea to get involved with this kid and says, hey, when this kid was 14 years old, he said something inappropriate on the internet. So basically there's this big, huge smear story that came out about this guy. Great. He came out public. He says, hey, I'm sorry. I'm a different person than I was at that age. Which, I'm a different person too. Like, that's just the way that the world is now. Okay? Anyways, there was a big, issue with that. Came back on. Over the time period, he raised $3 million. And I thought, hey, this is going to be a great thing for us to help get a part of. I don't have enough money to donate to this organization, but I know we have an amazing product that we can give to this organization that will benefit literally hundreds and hundreds of kids. Like, that was our whole meaning behind it. And yes, it's our opportunity to say, hey, we've got a really cool product. Let's get this out so people can see it. And it's a win-win for everybody. I didn't ask for dollars. I didn't ask for anything. I said, this is what we're trying to do. We want to be a part of this. The hospital said no.
They said, no, we don't want your help.
We can't have that.
We can't have your
We can't have your wheelchair.
Why not?
Well, apparently it didn't meet the in-kind donation status, which I looked up and it did. Then they says, well, we don't have anywhere to store it. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. What organization around here do you know that we can still reach out to and say, we'd like to donate this to? Let me try and get with it. So anyways, I got a message and sent another message to another organization, and I've got linked up with another place, and I basically said, hey, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to give. Oh, that's great. Okay. And then I'm getting everything ready to go out to Iowa. We've had it made specifically with colors, with logos, and different things on the seat. And then I get a message while I'm getting it embroidered. It says, oh, just so you know, we can't have anything to do with that Carson King guy. He can't be on that chair. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He says, well, you can't even mention anything. I'm like, it doesn't say anything about beer. Well, you can't have his name on there because it looks bad. The powers from above, it looks bad, and we can't be tied to that. So I said, yeah, okay. I thought about it, and then they said, well, we don't have a direct tie with the organization, with the university, and then I thought, okay, and then I got home and thought about it and talked with someone else, and they're like, well, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we're trying to help other people. Well, yeah, but now you're just turning this into giving this chair to somebody who may or may not even benefit from it like you had hoped to. So I'm like, you know what, you're right. What I'm saying is if I'm giving something to somebody, there can't be so many restrictions upon it that you feel like you're doing them wrong by giving them something.
Well, and you want it to be used the end game, right? You just don't want it to go out there and be sitting in some closet and no one's getting, the people that you want it to benefit aren't getting benefit from it.
Dale's words exactly. And that was just kind of my walk away. Just a little frustrated. A little like, hey, we're trying to help out and do the right things, but I apparently can't still find the right people to give things to the proper way.
Well, that's business for you, right? You win some, you lose some, and it's better now than you get to Iowa with a chair and nobody wants it, and you bring it right home. So
It's true. So that's kind of my I don't know. I think that people they want things as long as it benefits them without any kind of restrictions or, well, we can't have that on there. Well, how is that going to hurt the kids? Well, why don't you just do it without that?
yeah.
Which I easily could have done, but that takes away the whole reason that we did things, is to recognize this action so that it can kind of show, hey, this is the reaction from what people did, is let's spread the love.
Well, here's what you do.
What do I do?
Here's what you do. So that didn't work, right? Your whole thing was due to college game day and spreading, virally that way.
Correct.
So you find out where college game day is going to be here in a couple weeks. You just go with your chair there. You find some individuals that want to go to game day and can't go to game day because they can't stand or they can't walk around or whatever. And you take them to game day in your chair. They have a great time. Maybe you get TV time and get the advertising and it goes nuts. Maybe not, but you're still helping those people. And problem solved.
You're a smart man.
Problem solved. If it goes viral like this sign did, people will reach out to you and say, hey, that's cool. Where can we get one? This, that, and the other. Maybe a hospital reaches out to you and says, that would be great for our patients. And you can say, you know what? We tried doing this with this organization, didn't work. What do you need first before we do it? And maybe it turns into a feel good, here's your chair. Or maybe it just turns into helping out other people.
I was getting a little too. What was the advice you're giving? If it's not selling, lower the price.
Yeah.
That's not the.
You don't need to race to the bottom. You just got to find your people, right? You got to find your market. So maybe it's not even. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not game day. Maybe you just go up to, like you were saying, there's children's hospitals. Maybe you just go up there and say, hey, you want to take your kids for a walk? Here's a wheelchair. Take them out on a trail. That's all you got to do.
And again, I'm going to liken this like your eBay store. Just because you know that you have something or you think you have something really, really cool and it's going to go like wildfire, doesn't mean it's going to on your timetable.
I got a foam brick that I bought last night for $5. I'm going to try to sell this foam brick for $100. I know thousands of people are going to see this brick and say, that's the stupidest thing ever. Why would anyone pay that kind of money for that? People will message me and say, I'll give you $10, but who in their right mind would pay you this for it? That's stupid. You're stupid. Why are you doing this? And then one day I know that somebody will come and they'll pay the $100 and say, thank you for selling this to me. So you're just waiting for the right person to come that will appreciate what you have. That's what we're all doing as sellers, right? We all have, for the most part, we all have different individual, unique items. We're waiting for that one person to come by and say, that's awesome. That's just what I'm looking for. Here you go. It doesn't matter if I'm asking $10 or the $100. They're going to buy it regardless. So I'm just going to wait for the guy with the $100 because he wants it.
You're just finding the right buyer. That's all you're looking for.
It's Cinderella. She's lost her shoe. We're just looking for the right shoe or the right foot to fit that shoe. That's glass slipper, right? And there might be a lot of people that come and try on that shoe and it's just not the right fit for them.
Patience.
But the time that it does fit, you become the prince and princess and whatever else, fairy tales and godmothers and fairy dust.
Patience is what you're telling me. So Needless to say, I will not be going to Iowa this week. Hopefully we can get something figured out, but I do know that I was able to go to a trunk or treat this past weekend.
Well, I saw it. I saw you doing that on the Facebook Live. What was the motive behind that?
I even dressed up like a panda bear.
I was kind of surprised to see, because you just tell us how you hate all this kind of stuff, and you're scared to death, and then you're like, hey, I'm down here at the most haunted, deadly attraction in Utah. Why don't you come and take your kids on a ride with my chair?
Because I'm there doing it for the kids. I won't do something that is bad for me, but if you're telling me that Timmy down here who's got cancer is going to benefit from this, you're dang right I'm going out there for it.
You push him through the haunted house pass. So how was that received?
Loved it, man. Like, people came up, it had like a trunk or treat thing. It had this, it's called the Mascot Miracle Foundation. All these different mascots show up and families did a trunk or treat. We passed out candy like left and right. We almost ran out actually, but
That's good.
anyways, there's a bunch of people that have children with some sort of a need, that have had some sort of a physical ailment. I don't know, probably 50 different families came through that had children specifically in a wheelchair, so it was really good. They got to get out and run around. But they also had the kids be the scarers on the Nightmare on 13th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say I'm glad my son was with me, because we were both holding each other's hands very tightly part of the way through it.
You went through the actual attraction?
Yes, they had it scared down because, I mean, we're talking little kids. Like, they were the ones.
Yeah, well, you just said you can watch Willow last week.
I would, if it wasn't for the kids, I'll be honest, I had my eyes closed part of the time.
Did you say that your pants were already wet when you went in? I spilled a drink on them, I swear.
No, but it was the part they trimmed down was very good. So
Good for you.
I don't know. That was my great apple.
I'm kind of proud of you.
That was my good apple experience. Is when you help other people, it's going to come back to you ninefold. So, yeah, I had that made my weekend.
Good job.
That definitely made my weekend, and then
Way to turn a negative into a positive.
that's right. Because when you help the right people, when you see those smiles, that's what you're looking for. So, that's what I did. So, I know you're not going to believe me, man. We already zoomed through, man.
Well, I knew I didn't even do the ranting.
I know. I don't want to talk about it anymore with anyone.
Hey, it's good to get off the chest.
It is. I've been kind of there. I'm just trying to find the right place, the right thing.
Hey, can I throw this out? I know we're going to break,
Yes.
but I have to apologize for a few things.
Well, I know we got to redo our commercial.
Well,
I sound like I was possessed.
so, fun fact about that. One, we got a new commercial to do this week.
Yes.
Two, that's how the commercial is now permanently for some reason, because it won't go back to how it was supposed to be. So that's another fun fact of this Halloween episode. Somehow the possessed Adam is what we have. Friend of the program, Ben Seavey, who we've been talking about the last few weeks, he's been taking pictures of himself, putting podcasts over on people's cell phones.
Love it.
He's been reaching out. He's a big fan, right? I got to apologize. He may have spent some time in Brazil.
Oh.
I may have called it Brazil, which I didn't realize until I was listening and editing the podcast. Sometimes I'm just a redneck hillbilly. That's just who I am. I own it.
On every day that ends in Y.
So the country, this isn't from him, but I was listening to it. I kept calling it Brazil. It's Brazil, which is probably not even pronounced right that way, but you don't go around wearing a brassiere. It's a brassiere, right? Brazil.
I don't even know where this is going.
So he, so you're talking about the Cajun cowboy or something on the review. He tells me he tried to review our podcast 10 different times on Apple, but it kept being a different. He had to get a username every time he tried. There'd be some crazy username. So he tried to go out of his way to give us a 5-star review 10 separate times, which is dedication right there.
So what you're saying is, it's not our fault that Apple iTunes is holding us back. We've probably had our 60 reviews, and it's time for Jerry
I'm saying people have probably tried and they just said, whatever, screw it. These guys are good, but whatever.
That's it, man.
So again, ask you to give your 5-star review, subscribe, or follow us however your podcast, wherever you're listening works. Thank you, and we appreciate it. Second off, he said sorry for all the Brazil talk. when we were young youths of the early 20 years. It's fine. It was for my story. It was with the Brady. Everybody was happy with where they went and talked fondly about where they went. There was just a group of people that were talking about this magical country, and I got my expectations of what might be found in that country lifted way above where I should have had them. Not on you guys, so I apologize about any of that. I wasn't trying to make anyone feel bad about that. So Brazil is a beautiful country with beautiful, beautiful people.
There you go.
Even if it's a magic rock and a haunted gunny sack painting. Hey Adam, we got a new sponsor.
Sponsor, we like that.
You know, when you're outsourcing, you need reliable phone coverage. So that's why we work with the people at Visible.com, Visible Mobile. It's $40 a month, unlimited everything cell phone coverage.
Wow.
Not only that, but they're using the Verizon network. So you're getting the best of the best.
It sounds like the big boys at the friend discount.
Also, you got a mobile hotspot included. If you sign up soon, they have a $200 prepaid MasterCard gift card they're going to give you just for trying it out. Also, if you use our promo code when you check out, you're going to get $20 off of your $40 a month experience for the first month just trying it out. Our promo code is BVWVQ. That's Bronco Victor Winnebago Victor Quilt. I know I tried to get something more DeathPiles related. We're working on it. But unlimited, you're talking unlimited talk, data, text, everything. So give them a try.
Visible Mobile. Well, that giving season is coming up. What better thing to do than to give the gift of freedom? We're talking about the Extreme Modus Off-Road Wheelchair. If you haven't heard about it yet, check us out online, extrememodus.com. It's a very unique wheelchair that allows not only you to get outside, but your loved ones who haven't been able to get out and explore, even, going in your grass or outside on any kind of trail. This unique device gives an opportunity to take family members out and be a part of your family again. Check us out on our website at extrememodus.com. Especially during the Christmas season, there's a unique opportunity to crowdfund your family's wheelchair. Check us out. Well, that's a couple good commercials there.
Hey, there you go. Switching it up just a bit. I don't know. My ears are acting all weird. I think it's because I just dropped the headphones.
You did just drop the mic.
But we're back, and that was a great commercial break.
Yeah.
You're calming down a little bit, so that's always a good thing.
Got my Colorado brownie.
You need a Colorado brownie. Maybe you should go give a dispensaries a wheelchair or something.
If they take them.
So how's your eBay going? Let's have some real talk.
Just had another thing go out the door.
Real talk.
Yesterday.
That's awesome.
It's been slowing down because I've been putting my efforts elsewhere.
You've been putting your goods in another basket.
I haven't been selling more eBay. I've been focusing more online with my other business that I own.
Well, here's something that I learned last night at our event that I was telling you about, our eBay seller group. Nobody likes listing.
Well, yeah.
We've talked about hiring people to list for us before, right?
Okay.
So they have this company, and there's other companies out there, but this is the one that came out, and I'm going to try to work with them in the future. Maybe they'll become somebody that sponsors us in a future episode. We'll see. The company's called Sellhound. Have you ever heard of Sellhound?
No.
They had a couple cool things. First thing is, you go to their website, I think it's sellhound.com, and you search for an item, right?
Okay.
We're going to do this live time with Adam. I should have told him during the break, but go to sellhound.com and just type in maybe your Cardinals hoodie or something like that. So he's there, type in your search there, and then you're going to hit fetch. And what it's going to do is when it fetches,
Fetch it. Wow.
it runs, now
Wow.
Now look, it's going to bring up what the average cost is,
Yeah.
and what's the other one say there? I can't see across the room there.
It's current and sold cost.
So it's going to show you your sold and current averages for that thing, not only on eBay, but scroll down, it shows you all these other online marketplaces.
Poshmark, Macari, Etsy, Sideline Swap.
there's places that you've never even heard of that people are selling for online, right? They're selling
Yeah.
it online.
Wow.
So not only can you go on there and find other places to list your stuff, you can find good prices of what, average prices and sold prices. If you want to go into more detail, you can.
Wow.
The other cool thing that they do is they list things for you on clothing items.
They list things for you.
So they're like a virtual assistant.
Okay.
So how that works is you get their app, and they have I think they have a few questions for you basically, but you'll take however many pictures you want for your listing, you send it over to them, you pay them, it was somewhere like $2 maximum, and then if you subscribe and pay enough, it goes down to like $1.50, $1.60-ish per item. They create the listing for you. They fill out all your item specifics. They write your description. They do all that work for you, and then they send it over to you, and you approve it before it goes onto your store.
Interesting.
So all the hard work that we hate to do, they source out for you.
So let me ask you this. Is this something that you will be trying?
I definitely will be trying. They said that they'll do 3 items for free. In the future, I'm probably going to try depending on how it goes. But here's the thing, right? So you go to the store and you say, I know that's an expensive pair of shoes, but I don't know there's so many different names of like styles and things. I'm not a stylish, fashionistic guy.
No, that shirt you're wearing just makes your eyes pop.
But what kind of shirt is this?
Oh, I meant your buttons.
What kind of shirt is this?
It's a button-up button shirts, just like mine. Well,
I'm here trying to make you money.
I'm just telling you, I've got the same shirt on.
Well, it's not the same shirt. They're different colors. Yours is a long sleeve. Have you ever put those on eBay side by side?
See, that's the
They're
problem.
quite different.
That's the problem. I'd say they're the same shirt. I don't have the fashionista style.
One's a tan shirt. One's a white with some striped. One's a long sleeve. One's a working man shirt with double pockets. One's got a single pocket. I mean, I'm wondering if Ab's ever listed something on eBay right about now. No wonder it hasn't sold. No wonder that guy's getting mad about his shoe return. He probably thought he was getting him a pair of Nike Air Jordans the way you're describing these.
My wife listed that.
Okay.
So what you're saying is the difficult part, because just like you said, I don't know how to word a lot of the things. If you are giving them the opportunity, they can see, probably because, they don't make money, they make more money when you make more money.
Well, the difficult part is so we get our DeathPiles right, and the easy part's taking the pictures and buying it. The hard part's coming up with the description. Knowing the brand isn't necessarily the hardest, but sometimes it's difficult. Getting the right sizes, getting the right explanation of what kind of shirt it is, or what kind of blouse it is, or what kind of shoe it is. Have you ever tried to list women's shoes?
No, I have not.
There's a form that's like a drop-down menu of probably about 30 different kinds of, is this a Cuban, a high heel, a stiletto, a this, a that, a flat, a that, another, Mary Jane, carpenter, So, do you know what all those different things are?
I have no idea.
But they do. So, you buy your shoe because you know it's a good brand. They'll fill out all that stuff for you.
Huh.
Or maybe you got a Super Bowl jacket that you've been hoarding down in your basement for months that you need to get on the internet because winter's coming and football season's going.
That's true.
But you haven't got the time to fill out all the details and figure out what year that Super Bowl was, et cetera, right?
Huh.
So you take a few pictures, send it over to them. They fill out the rest. You pay them $2, and you put it on your site.
I like it.
So that was the bulk of what we did last night. We went over how people list. There's obviously different people that do the same kind of thing, but this is the one that we talked to and we're getting familiar with, and I'm definitely going to give it a try.
I think I'm going to give it a try.
The only problem is that's all that they do is like clothing, fashion type things. So I was hoping that I could just be taking pictures and they list all day for me. But that's taken out because we talked about hiring somebody. The problem is if you hire somebody, you got to train them.
It is. There's a curve.
And they're only going to know what you know to train them. So still, they're going to come back and say, well, what kind of a coat is this? What kind of a this, that, or the other is this, right?
It's true. It's very, very true. That's an interesting, hopefully, future factoid right there.
Future factoid.
Way to make you money.
That's what we're all about.
That's a lot of fun information.
Yes, sir.
All right, so had an interesting conversation with a new potential client today. Here's the thing. When you start making money, you do need to do things right the first way. Have you ever had that problem? You're doing it and you're like, oh man, I wish I should have done this differently, or I wish I would have done it the right way.
Yeah.
That's what we had the conversation with today, is somebody basically setting up a sales company online. And the question was, well, I'm kind of doing my own thing. My husband's doing his own thing. Should we put our two businesses together? And I says, well, for tax purposes, I mean, at that point, it doesn't really make a difference because it's all going in the same account. You're doing essentially the same things, not necessarily on the same platform, but you're selling stuff online. Some is at like a retail, and since it's all going the same place. So yes, at that point, yeah, it makes sense to do it all in the same, company. I says, the biggest thing you're going to have is just keeping track of it. And she's, oh, you know what, you're right, because I knew at the beginning we were spending all this money and we should have been keeping track of it. I'm like, yeah, that's the whole idea, and that's the problem when you get into business for yourself. It's real easy to pull out that card and just buy stuff. And especially like when you get money that comes in, it's great, but then you're like, well, where did it all go? That's when it becomes a real headache. And I think that's kind of what happens. I know with us, like we kind of got that headache problem with like inventory, because I know that was one of the things we talked about is when you start accumulating this death pile, what does that mean? Like,
You got your bottleneck somewhere, right?
exactly. It's like, all right, I've bought all these things. Now what do I do? Like,
You turn into Bill, whose wife says you can't buy anything else.
I'm just guessing. This is no life look into where Bill's situation, but I'm guessing Bill has an idea of how much all of these things cost, but he can't give Bill's wife, Mrs. Bill, a sheet that says this is how much everything cost and this is how much money we're going to make. Just my guess.
Probably true.
That's just, who knows? Maybe he has a different system.
Well, what we're going to make has to get listed and sell. I think that's the
Exactly.
problem, right?
Because that's the whole idea. Is if you are buying things and you have a large sheet of every time you buy something, like you actually wrote it down, and you're like having your description. But then at that point, it's usually like, well, if you're going to the effort to write it down and put it everything, you should be listing it at the same time because it only takes a minute longer.
Well, it's the same thing. So I got these foam bricks that we've talked about multiple times now. I
Yes.
paid $5 for them. I'm thinking $800, right?
Yeah.
If I just set them in the death pile and they're still here next year when we're having episode 80, and you're saying, oh man, do those ever sell? And I think, oh, they're just still sitting in my death pile. I haven't even listed them.
Yes.
They're not $80. They're -5.
Yes.
That's what they are.
Plus the space it's taking.
Plus the space and time and whatever you want to talk about. So,
Plus that's on the bottom of the death pile list. And then when Mrs. Bill looks at your death pile saying, what in the world is this?
and you say that's our retirement right there.
Maybe what I'm thinking is maybe we need like a souped up, like, let's go check out your death pile and you come look at mine, and then we can like power list right then. Because you know how like I didn't get real excited about listing until we had our little competition.
Well, I got a new trick in my competition now. Now I'll do a competition all day, every day.
Well, yeah, you and your buddy Sellhound.
Because I'm just going to go click, my pictures I want on there. They're going to come up with my title, description, everything. They're going to do all the work for me so I can list, instead of what takes me an hour to do. Because the hard part for me is writing the description, is filling out all the things, making sure that it's Google compliant, eBay compliant, and getting it up there. And then there's still a lot of blanks, and sometimes things sit there. If I can just go take my pictures, send it over to them, pay them $2, they do the rest, and hey, guess what? My item now costs $2 more than what I was going to sell it for. It pays for itself.
That's a great idea. That's a fantastic.
So that week when I did 50 items, 100 items, what did I do that week when I beat you?
A lot more than me.
Now I'm going to do double it.
Yes, the whole idea is we're here to, I guess, try and help each other.
Yes.
That's the whole idea. Whether it's giving you advice to helping you what to source, how to list, how to file taxes. We're all good at our own things. Like, I've never been that guy. Like, I know a lot of people. I talk to them, especially this time of the year, says, oh, Adam, man, I need your help. What's your problem? I haven't filed my taxes in 6 years.
You do need my help.
You do need my help. Well, let's see if I can get you on the list. I've never been that guy.
So not even like helping each other out, which we do, but we're here to help out the listeners, right? We got people all across the country now listening to this, and hopefully it's giving them some sort of benefit because they keep listening. So we're here to help them out as well. Yeah.
And like I said, and whether or not it's even like that kind of a relation is, all of your eBay stuff, or you have that in order, do you have your taxes in order? Which, those kind of things go hand in hand, which also mean there's probably some other things like your one buddy, what's his name? This is Clark Howard.
Oh, Clark Rageous.
I mean, if you can do these things, getting your financial house in order, you know what? Then you can go out and buy more.
Well, that's the thing, too. It's just getting you in the habit, right?
Yeah.
Lots of people, it's just like anything. People get out of habit, and then you just kind of start going down your slippery slope, and it's just getting it back in order. It's not that you can't do it, or you don't understand. You don't know where to start. A lot of times people don't know where to start. You're looking to sell online. People always say, I don't know what to buy, I don't know what to sell, or I don't know how to ship, or I don't know. Just focus on learning one thing. Okay, I do know how to do that. I do know how to take pictures on my iPhone. I do know how to put pictures up on Facebook. I can post things there. I can sell on a Facebook marketplace, or I can try to sell something on eBay, or whatever, and learn that. Okay, something sold. Now, how do I sell it? You ship it, you learn that process. Then, this is where we all get in trouble. Okay, I've bought a lot of things. I know there's a lot of money here. Where do I store my stuff? And how do I list my stuff to get it for sale on whatever platform that you're doing? And then hopefully that ball starts rolling and you start getting that momentum, right?
Yeah.
And then you're selling. Then you're an eBay seller, whether you're a part-time eBay seller or e-commerce seller or Amazon seller or local yard sale seller, or you become a full-time. That's up to you. I don't know what your goals are, what your why is, what you're doing, but you got to just get started, get organized. Same with taxes and money. I don't know how to pay taxes. I don't know how much to save. I don't know who deals with this. You go find yourself a good accountant, whether it's Adam at Adam Up Accounting or somebody else. You say, this is what I'm doing. They'll tell you, okay, you got to save some money. This is the percentage that you got to save.
Yeah.
This is what kind of records you need. These are things that you can write off.
It's getting into habits. I think that's the whole idea, is helping yourself make yourself do something more than just the easy part.
So these people with their online businesses that you're talking to, are they having their own websites? Do they have a big business? Are they selling things online like we're doing?
The one kind of, they've started to have, like, they offer a service like that they do online, and that service, they need to start doing a website. I guess that's the big thing, is they need to start doing a website because they've gotten enough word of the mouth for it, and they're like, we need to probably do more stuff online. Because that's the hard part, is you as a single human being can only do so much, but then now it's turned into a lot of like videos. That's part of the reason we do a podcast, is we're making evergreen here.
We're trying to create content.
Creating content, because once it's done, and you can now push somebody to that availability, saying, go check out all of this information. That's what we do on on my website. A lot of the information, people always ask me, like, oh, well, what do I need? If I'm going to do my taxes, what do I need? Like, I don't even give them that opportunity to ask the question anymore. Like, our first email is, here's the information on our website. Here's a list of the items that you'll need. If you have a business, fill out this sheet. And then they're like, oh, I do have a business. Oh, there it is. Like, you're just trying to create the same thing over and over and over so that, your job becomes easier.
Trying to make it foolproof and easy.
Yes. And a lot of the time it isn't. That's fine. You can still answer questions, but you're just trying to make the end user, whoever that is, easier.
And the ultimate thing is, if you're spending money on your business, keep it logged somehow.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, is you are. Like, the easy part, and it's funny, we've seen a lot of this in the groups, and we'll always post in some remark, oh, my death pile's getting so huge. Yeah, there's two things certain in life. That's death piles and taxes. That's funny. Like, yeah, check it out. It's a podcast. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I get it. You can't promote your thing. Like, hey, listen to this. Here's.
You're a little salty, man. You're a little salty this week. Let's turn it sweet.
Hey, here's your question. Click on this and you'll get the answer. So.
Yeah.
You're right. Let's turn this into sweet.
I just don't want you going off on another rant.
I don't need to be on.
I can see it. I can see it in your eyes.
No rants for me.
You're still a little heartbroken.
It's for the kids, man. When it's for the kids.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
That's right. Think of the kids. So, there you go, friend.
Well, here's something for you. I got a question for you.
All right. What do you got for me?
E-cigarettes. The vaping. It's a big to do right now, right? There's all sorts of controversy and does it do this, does it do that? There's a lot of places, Walmart, you're not Rite Aid, what's the new one's called?
Walgreens.
Walgreens. A lot of these places are no longer going to sell e-cigarettes.
Okay.
Is that something that you feel is an opportunity, maybe a bolo, or are you morally against this, that you could step in and say, there's an opportunity to sell this, there's a demand, where do you stand on this thing?
Well, here's the hard part is how do you as an end user, like not as the seller, know who that end user is?
Well, you're selling it on eBay. You're saying to have this eBay account. You're going through the steps. I mean, I've sold nicotine gum. It's an 18 and older product. They're vetting it, and then you're just going off. They've done the research. That's who the end user is.
This is such it's a moral compass question. Is will you or will you not? Because I will bet $1 million that these results of, yes, guess what? Cancer is bad, or nicotine is bad for you. Alcohol is bad for you. This Diet Mountain Dew that I just chugged is bad for you. This will be just as bad, if not worse, than nicotine. I promise you. So it all depends on your moral compass at what point.
Because here's the thing I'm thinking is going to happen is these places are saying we're not reordering. We're just going to sell out our stock, right? And so eventually this stuff's going to go on clearance.
Yes.
And when this goes on clearance, there's going to be an opportunity to go in there and buy your vape juices or your e-cigarettes for a very low cost, and you can turn around and sell them for a good profit. Now,
here's my questions. How does one start to decide to vape? Like, I know like cigarettes, like they've been around for a long time, and you usually, hey, Grandpa Joe would give you a little drag off a cig.
well, from what I understand and the people I've talked with, and here's where the funny thing, so I don't know if you know any people that vape or smoke. You're kind of in a different type of clientele, and when people come to see you, they're coming to do business. So you're not hanging out or seeing.
Yeah, we're not.
Where I'm working, I can see people at the docks. I can see people outside. You know, in work environments. I'm driving around to warehouses. I see a different caliber of society. I don't know. I'm in that caliber of society, so I feel comfortable saying it's a blue collar versus a white collar, so to speak.
We don't have cigarette breaks here in between clients.
So, but I mean, that's different parts of the country. You know, some people, that's just what you grow up doing.
Sure.
And different parts of society. So a lot of people I talk to that vape actually started to vape because they wanted to stop smoking. And so with the vapes, they got different things on the modules. You can control how much nicotine goes into it, how much doesn't go into it, supposedly, so on and so forth. A lot of them think it's quote unquote healthier for you because you don't have the tar and a lot of the other things that are in the cigarettes, but you do just get the.
It could be.
It's water vapor and it's nicotine, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Now what's coming out is a lot of these ones are kind of the not your top tier. It's more of your value village, so to speak, type of
The knockoff brand.
kind of your cheaper e-juices, which sounds weird to say, of your vaping juices. So what might be getting into that isn't exactly what you thought was getting into it, and they kind of cut some cost and what have you. And there's being health problems, right? People are dying, or they're getting this pneumonia. They're getting all these weird things coming up with it. The funny thing is, a lot of the people that vape will tell you this, is one, they know it's not healthy. They don't think it's healthy. They're not surprised when it's not healthy for you. They know that nicotine's bad. They know that there's potential that this is bad for them, but that's what they're choosing to do. Part of it, too, is they don't like their clothes smelling like tobacco smoke. You get that smoke and stuff. You get all these different juice flavors. You know, you can have cotton candy. You can have Hershey Twix bars. You can have,
Wow.
butter. You can have whatever flavor you want. Tutti Frutti, sour apple.
So is the Butterfinger, is that a Bolo? Is it the original flavor or
Yeah, I
the
don't
new
know.
flavor?
Anyways, you get all these different flavors with your vaping things, right? And I don't know if the e-cigarettes are the same. All I know is that there's this big outrage now because a couple people have died. And the funny thing is that the smokers are saying, well, wait a minute. We're choosing to do this. People die by the truckloads smoking cigarettes, and they're still legal. No one's recalling all them. And then they go down the line of, what kills people. And all of a sudden, a couple people die with their vaping, and it's shut down, and, recall and all that. Of course, we're getting into election year, which can lead into all of this of what people are doing. But I was just going down your morals as a seller. Where do you line up on this?
Well, for me, honestly, I don't have, still have stuff downstairs that I haven't even listed. Like, I still have bolos that I've found that I haven't listed.
So great bolo last week. I haven't looked for your pebbles.
I looked for that one. And I guess it has to be something like you said that you're interested in, and that's, I don't know, it's just not a space that I'm interested in. You know what I mean?
Because I've been able to find kind of the Nicorette gums, and I find some, on the clearance, and I'll buy them, and I sell them for, it's a good bolo. It's something I haven't really talked about a lot, but that sells good. I feel good because it's like, hey, these people are trying to quit smoking, so on and so forth. But this kind of this month and this week with these everyone's talking about it on the news and wherever you're listening to on the radio, and people are having a blow up in their faces or getting weird diseases and stuff. But a lot of these companies are trying to do the quote unquote right thing. They'll still sell the regular cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
But they're not going to sell these e-cigarettes anymore. And so I'm just seeing an opportunity, and depending on what you feel, some people obviously wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Other people are like, that's a great idea, Derek. I'm going to be down in line trying to get them. It might be a possible bolo opportunity. Obviously, if you are reselling them, go through all the proper procedures. Make sure you're selling it to somebody that's over 18, depending where you live. Some states are, I don't even know if it goes up to 21, 19, 21, whatever it is to have tobacco product.
Obviously, it's something you'll need to know.
But that could be a potential bolo. I think there's going to be a demand for it. So
there you go, man.
Bring in the controversial pick.
Oh, you are.
Tell me what you think. Hey, I'm on the Twitter. I'm on the Instagram at DRoy Everett. Tell me what you think about that. Would you feel comfortable? Would you sell something like a e-cigarette?
You're going down the right alley. You want to know the best thing about all of this that we're talking about? You know why we can do this? Because we're in America, man. We're not in China.
Uh-oh. I've told you, salty, and I've touched some nerves. We might have listeners that listen to us in China up until right now, because now you're going to get DeathPiles and taxes banned in China. Like
I just said, well, if we lived in China, we couldn't be making this podcast. So
I don't know the podcast rules and regulations of the red state of China.
The red state. All I'm saying is that's the best part is you can figure out what you want to do. Like, there really aren't a lot of limitations to what you can and cannot do. Obviously, there's some. You can't sell illegal items. But you want to know the great state of America we live in now? Hey, you just don't take money. You take Bitcoin, and then you sell it.
Whoa. I feel like I'm going back to a Reddit discussion.
What's Reddit?
Nothing. If you go back in a few episodes ago, like a lot of episodes ago, you'll hear Adam talking about things that you can and can't do off Reddit.
Apparently that's where every person in China is going to be watching the NBA games here this week.
I don't think they get Reddit in China. Something tells me that's been banned long before the NBA.
So, I don't know. We can go down so many things, but that's the best is you can find an item, you can find different things that you like to sell that is going to make you money, and if that's what you're in it for, great.
Well, that's what you feel comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
If that's something that you're against, don't sell it. If you're not, that's the same when I come to, the toys I sell at Christmas. Some people don't feel comfortable making profit off of Christmas toys. I do. Some people don't feel comfortable selling e-cigarettes. I may or may not. Some people sell adult-type items. Some people don't feel comfortable selling that kind of stuff. Some people don't feel comfortable selling religious-type paraphernalia. Some people do.
I like how you said paraphernalia.
Well, you got some religious paraphernalia.
I do have some.
Anyway, do you feel comfortable selling that kind of stuff or not? That's a personal.
It all depends.
That could be a whole topic someday, I guess.
There, one guy talking about different items that he found, and he sells religious paraphernalia. He makes good money at it too.
And some people say you can't sell that kind of stuff.
It's a book is a book.
But anyway, that's my e-cigarette rant.
I don't love me some e-cigarettes. Love me some Diet Mountain Dew that adversely probably has the same results
You
on
can
my
probably find you a Mountain Dew flavor vape. Probably.
You could probably find about anything.
Well, we ready for a derailed or where we at?
You better derail me, man. I need something to cheer me up.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't going to be a cheer you up derail.
Do we need to just not have a derail then?
Well, we need to have it. It needs to be said.
All right.
That's what's going on. So last week when we closed the episode, I received a text message after the show.
I remember this.
And it was from a friend of the program, Waddy.
Okay.
Who I think, for some reason, you two have this unspoken rivalry.
We probably do.
I don't know why. It just seems like...
What would be better is if Waddy and I just got together for like an hour or two and we gave out our best and worst Derek Everett stories, and then be like, oh yeah, dude, we're on the same page.
There's only best. There's no worse.
Was Waddy part of Glurt?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see. Yeah.
No clue.
Can you guys pick me up? Glurt.
We got a podcast rolling here, and you're speaking gibberish.
All right.
There anything else you'd like to just shout out in the microphone?
I'll have
a
a discussion with Waddy, and we'll take this. We'll dig a little deeper into that.
Okay. All I'm saying is you can talk to Waddy, and there's nothing but glowing reviews of this guy.
Okay.
I don't know about you with the worst story, but I know there's only good out there by most.
You are my life coach.
So Waddy sends me over this text message that his sister-in-law, he has a young child who's about the same age as your kid, 7 or 8 years old, somewhere in there. And for those of you that don't know, the WWE, the wrestling program, is going to. They just moved over to Fox 13 here locally, but Fox nationally.
I'm ready to be upset at somebody.
So Friday nights they're going to have the big SmackDown show, and they've been promoting it all over baseball and football and everything, right? So they're putting a lot of money into this program. And so his little kid, he doesn't really care for wrestling. Everyone knows my history with it that listens to this show. His little kid's excited to watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And he's, as a father, it's an athletic, whatever. Let's let him have it. I'm glad he's excited to watch it. It's going to be fun for him to see. Whatever. Doesn't really care. His sister-in-law says, well, that's not real. And just tells him right up there, kid's excited to go see it, that it's fake. That wrestling's not real. That it's a scripted outcome. Which, fine, it's true. But when he's going to see Captain America or a Marvel movie, she doesn't say, Spider-Man's not real.
No.
When he's reading a comic book, she doesn't say, that's just a made-up fictional story.
Yeah.
When you're watching any other program on TV, she doesn't say, Jim and Pam celebrated their 10th year wedding anniversary the other day from The Office. Hey, guess what? They're not really married.
Yeah.
Why rain on somebody's parade? Which made me think of, when did I find out that wrestling was not real?
As well with me.
So I want to share that story with you. Also, cover tender ears, but there's also other things that may or may not be real. You don't need to go ruin it for kids. Don't be that guy.
That's right.
Don't be that person. Nobody likes that person. If you're that person, you are a piece of scum.
You're less than scum.
So don't be that person. Don't ruin things for kids. Let them have a good life. Let them believe in things.
I was 10 years old in California when we lived before we moved to Nevada. I was at friend's house, Graham Rodriguez. His dad told us on a Saturday morning that wrestling was fake.
And how did that make you feel?
I'm a 38-year-old man, and I can still remember the moment 28 years ago.
That's the problem. I'm in the same boat with you. It's like it emotionally scarred us.
Yes.
It's something that I don't remember a lot of things that happened in my youth like that. Like I don't remember when the Challenger blew up. I don't know. What's some things that happened back then? When baby Jessica fell down the well? I don't remember things I probably should remember. But I was watching, and now I was a big wrestling fan, as everyone knows, because now it's turned into thousands of dollars for me with me reselling my stuff. So I would record every bit of wrestling I could get. I'd watch it hours on end.
And by record, you mean you had the VCR and you pushed the button.
Exactly, VCR, blank tape. So I was watching an Ultimate Warrior match. He was beating some guy, and my dad just said, that's fake. And what do you mean that's fake? And then he explained to me that if that man's taking that pounding in the face like that, there would be blood, there would be guts, there would be something like that. In which case I was like, okay, that's true. However, for whatever reason, didn't sour my experience so much, as just kind of smartened me up, and now I can watch it. I think that wrestling should be an Olympic sport. And let me tell you why.
I agree with you.
Now, they should get rid of men's gymnastics, and it should be a panel of judges, right? And then the men go out there, the wrestlers go out there, and they perform, they put on their match. And it should be judged on a scale kind of like a 1 to 10. There'd be some sort of that. It's a performance. It is. It's just as much as a floor routine.
We are no longer doing the floor exercise.
Well, you can still have, but ratings-wise, how many people watch men's? I mean, they'll watch couples skating. But how many people really watch men's figure skating compared to women's figure skating? I don't know the numbers, but I'm going to guess not a whole lot.
That's not my
How many
demographic.
people watch women's gymnastics versus men's gymnastics? I'm going to guess not a whole lot. Well, they'll say you can't get rid of one without the other, the whole Title IX thing, right? It has to be equal, this and that. I'm sure there's something like that with the Olympics. Now, there is women's wrestling, too. But what you do is everyone knows it's show business. Everyone knows it's predetermined. But you go as an athletic competition, they're putting on a routine, a performance. You judge that performance with, I'd be a judge. There's plenty of people that would be. And you look at it that way. People go and they rate plays. They criticize movies. I'm not saying you have to give the performance of when they come and say, I'm coming to your town, brother. You better be there or be square and the junkyard dog's going to come and find you. Right. You don't have to judge that stuff, but the actual match itself. There's some amazing things that happen. You just go watch one of these now that you're on Fox.
Yeah.
On Friday night, watch a couple of these matches and see some of the things these guys, they're athletic.
Wow.
Most of them are former football type players. They got athletic backgrounds. They do some amazing things. Now, true, it's scripted. Everyone knows it's predetermined. But so is the floor routine. No one's the wiser. That's my rant.
I can get on board with that. I mean,
Make pro wrestling an Olympic sport. You heard it here first.
wow. I mean, they have every other judging show. Like you can have a judge show for making pasta, making a grilled cheese sandwich. You have judging competitions for baked items. You have judging competitions of a masked singer, of just about everything. You now have
Well,
a
I'm
judging
saying an
competition.
athletic, like
Yeah.
they have rhythm gymnastics where you dance around with your little baton and you spin the wand and ribbons and
You're
things.
right. There's I'm all on board, man. You've now sweetened my day by the
You watch
general
some
knowledge
matches,
of what you
obviously
have.
they sell a lot better. It's more believable.
Yeah.
It's a better performance than others.
Man, you're on to something.
And they should be judged. I'm all for it.
I don't-
It could be an Olympic sport.
I don't know what more value.
Synchronized swimming?
I don't know what more value you could bring to our listeners than the value you just brought.
Well, I know you don't believe that, but I'm glad
No,
that you
I'm
said
being
it.
dead serious.
I'm glad that you said it.
That's the problem. Sometimes I say things and people don't think I'm genuine. I'm still, the thought process of how right you are is,
Let it catch up, and people would watch it. How many people are watching I guess women's gymnastics gets a lot. I mean, that's one that I will watch, because they do some amazing things. How many people are actually watching men's gymnastics or men's figure skating? Not couples, but men's.
wow.
And how many people watch pro wrestling every week? On TNT
They watch
last
it-
week,
they watch
this
it
show
every week?
debuted, had over 1 million people watching it live.
And Derek, you are a marketing guru.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
They're putting skateboarding in there.
one day.
They're putting snowboarding's been in there for a while.
Karate.
Karate. And they're not having karate MMA fights. They're just doing their karate moves and you're judging. Boxing's in there.
Man, you're on to something. Telling you.
They have different countries.
That's the best
Different
part.
styles.
See, now that we're saying these things and we're getting on record, and when this happens in 12 years,
This is my rant.
you can pull it. You can say, "Yep, here's the day."
I just want to be the American judge. You put me down there. I'll be fair.
the frontier of the sport,
I might be partial to lucha libre.
the lucha libre.
You never know.
Well, hopefully this gets your spirits up. Let you know that hey, you can do just about anything. God bless America. 2 things that are certain in life.
Death piles and taxes.
Think of the children. Won't somebody please think of the children?
on, let's bounce. Counting on you to turn me around. Instead of clowning around, let's look for some common ground. So baby, time's getting a little crazy. I've been getting a little lazy, waiting you to come save me. I can see that you're angry by the way that you treat me. Hopefully you don't leave me. Wanna take you with me. If I get it so, I know I've been a real bad girl.